right, so Monkey Man by the Rolling Stones. This is from the Let It Bleed album, released in 1969. And from where I'm making this video today, that's like over 50 years ago now. That's just incredible. And the reason I'm doing this song is I got a lot of requests. And also, just because I think these are some of the coolest licks. You know, really, that little dissonant thing he does there is just so cool. On the record, I'm pretty sure this is capoed. In fact, I probably would have to say I'm 99.9% it's capoed on the record, because you know, all those licks there, they're all kind of based around that D shape. So I've got the capo on the 2nd fret, and I'm going to call everything in relation to the capo as if that was the nut. Okay, so I'm going to call that a D, an A, a G, and I'm going to call this opening chord. We know it's a C sharp minor, but I'm going to call it a B minor. And if you look at the tab, I'll have a tab for this, you'll see that on the tab too. Okay, so I faked the keyboard part, and on the original record, that's Nicky Hopkins playing that keyboard part, who, you know, is just was an amazing musician. Played the on Jealous Guy by John Lennon, a myriad of tracks he played on. Really, really talented guy. So we've got this B minor 7. So we're going to bar on the 7th fret, G, B, and E, and then on the D string it's the 9th fret. But we're going to add a little finger to the 10th fret of the B. So B minor 7, drop our little finger down 1, B minor 6, and then drop it down another 1, and add our little finger to E10, which is like a G over a B. And then I ended it up with that chord, which is just the 5th, the root, the 5th, and the root. There's no 3rd in there. And the reason I did that is because the vibraphone part, which I faked on guitar, goes from the minor 3rd up to the major 3rd. So if I would have done that minor chord, we would be getting that interval there, which is kind of nasty. So I just eliminated the 3rd and just did the all 5ths and root. So we've got B minor 7, B minor 6, G over B, and then a B power chord. And that's your intro. Now the guitar, what I did there is I had my neck pickup on 0 on the volume here, right? And I had my bridge pickup at about 2. So I did the swells with that neck pickup. So I'm starting with 0, hitting the 7th fret of the G string, and fading that in and out, and hitting it again, fading it in, sliding it up a fret, okay, to get that major 3rd of the B chord. And now the rhythm guitar part starts, so I just flip down to my bridge pickup, and it's all right, and that's just these 2 notes, 7th fret G, 10th fret B. But actually, if you really listen, you can hear that in there too, 7th fret E. You know, just on the strumming parts. But the focus is definitely on these 2 strings. And the first time it's delayed, that last one, right? Now we go down 1 fret. And that's, it's an off on that last shot. Right? And now we're going to turn the volume up to 10, and we're going to hit these 3 strings. And just that, right? So that whole bit there would be. Okay? And on those last ones, I'm still hitting a bit of that high E string. All right? And And now we're going to get into this main lick just heading into the beginning of the verse. And that's going to go like this. Okay, and we're going to spend a lot of time in that position. And the way that works is we're going to slide up on the D string to the 4th fret. And we're going to hit the G and B on the 4th fret. Now, what you got to do here is you got to angle that finger. So, you know, you don't want to hit that note. So you kind of angle it up there. So you're just muting that high E string. Right? Because this is all going to be played on these 3 strings, the D, G, and the B. And it's... Right? We're going to go up 2 frets and do that, you know, classic key suspension, right? And that's, I'm going to put a little finger here on the 7th fret's G. And the way I hear this is I only hear those 2 strings, the B and the G. You could play the D string too. And that's going to be fine. And I think he does sometimes anyways. And before I go any farther, I mean, it's Keith Richards, right? This is probably the only time he played the song this way, was on that take. Because he always does everything different, right? So, but what my goal in this lesson is to try and get the first 2+ minutes exactly what he was doing, well, or as close as I can come, because, you know, I'm not him, right? Okay, so, and I did it all with downstrokes. I started wanting to do upstrokes, but I think it sounds more authentic if you go all down. And then we get to this D chord. And that's the pattern. So it's hammer, 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 and then that's exactly the same as the other one, the first one. Now I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the A to the G and B. But then we're going to hit the open D. And to me that's really important because that kind of ties it all together. So coming out of this, and then we're back to the D, but we're going to double it up. And that. And back to this. And now. Okay, so same as before. And then we've got the D string and the B and the E string. Da 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 da. With that open A, which is going to lead us into the G chord coming up, right? So. And then just hit that G, and I'm not even playing the high E, I'm muting it out. I'm muting out the A string. Just let that ring the first time, and then da 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 da. Right, and then into the lick. And we hit that open D. You know, the first time we hit the open A, now we hit the open D. I mean, I'm being really specific on all this stuff, right? I mean, if Keith was watching this, you'd probably go, what are you doing? You know, don't do that. Just play whatever feels right at the time. But like I said, my goal here is to try and transcribe what he played in that session. Okay, so with the G, we throw that rhythm in there. Right, and now back to this. Except we're going to go. And that to me is so cool. That now you could play all 3 strings. But I like it better with just those 2. And then I'm upstroking the G string. And we do that hammer on. And then we're back to the D. And we're on the D string there, open D. Back to this. And that last one, he hits the open G. So and then we do that little, and we just end it there, and then we get into that whole little section, which is okay, and then we've got that. And this is just a whole bunch of variations on that suspension, on the rhythm. So the first one is, and then, it's a little offshot there. And then we've got and that does that a bunch of times. Then right, and that's where I ended my demo. But the song carries on by it's just D, A, G with all those little suspended things, and there's slide going in there, and it's just basically a free-for-all, and that goes on for quite a while before they bring it back to and it's just jamming out on that whole little sequence of notes in that position. Okay, so super cool. And like I say, Keith, I would almost virtually guarantee that he wouldn't remember exactly what he played in this song, because he just doesn't roll that way. He just plays from feel, right? But since we've all been listening to it for like 50 years plus, I think it's important to try and get those licks as close as possible. All right, so just go over the first little bit. That beginning is so cool, right? So we've got that fade in, fade out, fade in, up a semitone, flip the switch. Just great guitar playing, just killer riffs. Now I did I faked the keyboard part, and I'm not really gonna spend time going over that, because that was it was something just to fill in that left channel. And if you really want to, know what I was doing there, you can get the tab. Right? The tab will be on my website. But to me, that's really a not very consequential part. It was, like I said, it was just there to sort of fill out the sound a little bit. Other than, of course, the... Anyways, I hope you get something out of this. I really enjoyed working on this one. When I first listened to it, I thought, oh yeah, I should be able to do that one fairly quickly. But once you get into, the subtleties, the nuances of these licks, it actually took me quite a long time to get all these sort of nailed down. And they're very specific, right? That bouncing off that D string. And using those open strings, whether it's the D, the A, or that one time it's the G. Right? And little things like that to me make a big difference in the continuity of, when the joining different sections of the song. I think that's the thing a lot of people will gloss over sometimes playing in bands, is the the changes between sections. And to me, that makes a big difference. That just fills it in. All right, like I say, I hope you get something out of it. I hope you enjoy playing it, and we'll talk to you next time.